For more insights on this latest development and the potential impact it might have around the world, we're joined by attorney Christopher Davis, shareholder with the New Orleans office of Baker Donelson. Welcome to the show, sir. We've had conflicting reports whether or not construction has stopped or not stopped, and if there's a deal or not a deal. What's the latest you've heard so far?
Good evening, Phil. I believe Tuesday evening was the deadline that the Spanish consortium gave to the ACP, or the Panama Canal Authority, to come to terms on the contract dispute. That deadline came and passed. I'm told that the work stoppage is down to about 25% of the work that was done through this time. So basically, it's a slowdown, but they're down to 25% of their regular workload right now.
Now, the canal is about 2/3 finished, correct me if I'm wrong, and there's another third to go. Even if the money doesn't come in, is it possible that another builder could finish the project, or is that just a no-go in terms of that as a solution?
Everything's possible, and certainly, as you know, the canal was inaugurated in August of 1914. The expansion project was supposed to be concluded by August of 2014. That deadline came and passed in the sense that now they're predicting that June 2015 was the expected completion date. With the work slowdown or stoppage now, we're looking easily at least at a few months delay, and if the work does stop and a new contractor comes into play, we're probably looking at 2 to 3 years delay.
Now, as an attorney, I'm sure you're completely unbiased, but when you look at the facts and both sides are blaming each other for these cost overruns, who's to blame? Are they both to blame?
That's the $1.6 billion question, Phil. The contract is very specific. I've heard allegations or reports that some of the specs for the contract were changed after the bid process was completed. If that's in fact true, perhaps the Spanish consortium has a leg to stand on, but the ACP is taking the position that the contract is clear in what it specifies, and the consortium should live up to its commitments and complete the job despite the losses and the cost overruns. Do
outside businesses or governments have any say in how this gets resolved? This seems to be more perhaps almost an internal family matter.
Governments are involved. For example, the EU has sent representatives to and offered to mediate the dispute. Those offers have been rebuffed, I think, by the ACP. The Spanish Public Works Minister is in Panama this week, also trying to facilitate dialogue and a deal. And I believe that the head of the ACP is scheduled to go before the National Assembly or Congress in Panama on Wednesday, February 12th, next Wednesday, to basically report on what's going on.
So I have to believe that behind the scenes, outside of reporters and sort of the media, that there are talks that are happening, and maybe they are closer than a deal that we don't even know about yet. What are your sources telling you there?
There are reports in the local papers that both sides are still communicating with each other, albeit through back-channel communication channels. I think the tone of the commentary and the dispute has become more acrimonious after the deadline came and passed Tuesday night. But I believe the parties are still talking, and there's a lot at stake here, and both sides have a lot to lose.
If they hired you and say, we want you to mediate and come up with a solution that both sides could perhaps save face over, what would that solution look like?
I would encourage them to perhaps put the estimated cost overruns in escrow, not pay it out to the consortium, and then have an arbitration panel decide who is right and whether any more money should be paid under the contract. I understand that the consortium has offered to split the difference on the cost overruns, but that proposal has been rejected by the ACP, and understandably so. I mean, $1.6 billion is a lot of money.
Is there, if this project gets delayed, I mean, there's a lot of companies that are counting on this canal to be open and to move ships and move business and get revenue. There's going to be lost revenue. There's going to be claims. Somebody's going to hire, I'm sure, a team, if not teams of lawyers to complain about this. Is that something that's on the minds of the people dealing with this?
It's probably too early, but I believe any logical person will realize that not only are the main players at risk for billions of dollars, but there are many subcontractors and third parties that stand to lose a lot of money. I mean, many ports, not only in the U.S., but around the world, have expanded their facilities with the expectation of having more Panamax or post-Panamax vessels come to their ports. Those investments will be for naught if this project gets stalled.
It's unfortunate that when you have a disagreement like this, it only gets to the media when you get this close to the deadline. But this is an issue that has been brewing now for some time. It isn't just yesterday we found out that they were $1.6 billion over budget. I'm curious, why was this unable to be resolved in the early days?
I suspect the main reason is there is a contract that's been signed by the parties. The project was let out in a detailed bid process. It was supposed to be transparent. Many first-rate companies participated in the bid process, and this Spanish consortium was low bidder. Now, Bechtel also bid on the project, and I believe it's a matter of public record through some of the WikiLeaks emails that have been leaked to the press that they complained loud and clear after the bid was let to the Spanish group that it was a grossly unrealistic bid, that they grossly underbid the project, and this was something that everybody should have been aware of from day one.